The door closed. He picked up his recipe. He drove to the next restaurant. That door closed too. He drove to the next one, and the next, and the next. He slept in his car. He ate when he could. He kept driving. He was 65 years old. Most men his age were collecting pensions. He was collecting rejections, 1,009 of them, before anyone said yes. What kind of person keeps knocking after 1,000 doors have closed? Stay with me, because the answer to that question might be the most important thing you hear this year. Subscribe to this channel, because every Monday and Thursday we tell the stories that prove it is never too late and never too many rejections to keep going. Like this video, share it with someone who is about to give up. This story is for them. I am Dr. TJ, a Harvard Fellowship trained surgeon and a distinguished Toastmaster, the highest honor in Toastmasters International, earned by less than 1% of members worldwide. And everything I am about to share with you comes from decades of real-world experience at the highest levels. Harland David Sanders was born in 1890 in Henryville, Indiana. His father died when he was 5. His mother worked long hours, leaving young Harland to cook for his siblings. By age 7, he was already an accomplished cook. His life for the next 50 years was a series of false starts. He left school at 13. He worked as a farmhand, a streetcar conductor, an insurance salesman, a ferry boat operator, a tire salesman. He studied law by correspondence, practiced briefly, gave it up. He ran a gas station in Corbin, Kentucky, and at that gas station, he started serving food to travelers. His fried chicken, cooked in a pressure cooker with a blend of herbs and spices, became famous in the region. He built a restaurant attached to the station. By the 1950s, it was thriving. He had developed something special. His original recipe, 11 herbs and spices, was unlike anything anyone had tasted. And then the highway came. Interstate 75 bypassed Corbin, Kentucky. Overnight, the traffic that had sustained his restaurant disappeared. He was forced to close. He auctioned off everything. After paying his debts, he was left with his first Social Security check, $105. He was 65 years old, broke, starting over again. Most men would have stopped. Most men would have called it a life well lived and retired. He looked at that check. He looked at his recipe. He made a decision. He packed his car with a pressure cooker and his blend of herbs and spices, and he started driving. Restaurant to restaurant, town to town. His pitch was simple. Let me cook my chicken for your customers. If they like it, pay me a nickel for every piece you sell. The first door closed. The second, the 100th, the 500th. He slept in his car. He kept driving. He kept knocking. 1,009 times. The world said no. And then finally, someone said yes. That first yes in 1952 became the seed of something unimaginable. The franchising model he developed, where restaurant owners paid him a royalty for every piece of chicken sold spread. First across Kentucky, then across America. By 1964, there were over 600 KFC locations across the United States and Canada. He sold the company that year for $2 million. He was 74 years old. The man who had been broke at 65, who had slept in his car, who had heard no over 1,000 times, had built one of the most recognized brands in the history of American business. His name, as you guessed it, was Colonel Harland Sanders, the boy whose father died at 5. the man who failed at a dozen careers, the 65-year-old who drove from door to door, sleeping in his car, refusing to accept that his best years were behind him. Today, KFC serves over 12 million customers every day in over 145 countries, built on a recipe and a refusal to stop knocking. Here are 3 quotations from Colonel Sanders. The first quotation: I made a resolve then that I was going to amount to something if I could, and no hours, no amount of labor, nor amount of money would deter me from giving the best that there was in me. End quote, Colonel Sanders. The second quote: there's no reason to be the richest man in the cemetery. You don't do any business from there. End quote, Colonel Sanders. The third and final quote: one has to remember that every failure can be a stepping stone to something better. End quote, Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders heard no 1,009 times. He was 65 years old. He slept in his car. He kept knocking. Here is your challenge today. Write down the number of times you have been rejected for the thing you most want. Just write the number and then write this beneath it: not enough yet. Because if Colonel Sanders had stopped at rejection number 1008, there would be no KFC. There would be no empire. There would be no story. The only difference between him and everyone who gave up is one more knock. Knock again. Share this with someone who has just been rejected and is wondering whether to try again. The answer is always yes. Always one more knock. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and come back Thursday for the story of why most people quit when they are closer to success than they have ever been.
You are unstoppable.